The Canadian government is also looking to put sanctions on uh, terrorist Israeli settlers that are committing violence against Palestinians. Though, if you're not sanctioning the government that is arming and funding these people, what does the sanctions even do? I mean, is it actually going to stop anything? Because it's probably not. I mean, the settlers are also defended by the IDF, so it's not like the Israeli government doesn't know what's going on.
Just a day after President Biden issued an executive order targeting violent Israeli settlers in the West Bank, Canada is considering sanctions of its own, as the Prime Minister called on Israel to do more to stem the rising violence against Palestinians. CTV's Kevin Gallagher reports.
Violent clashes are on the rise between Israeli settlers and Palestinians in the occupied West Bank. Palestinian Fathi Abu Ammar says settlers are killing our children before our eyes, and we cannot do a thing. Since the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel, the UN says Jewish settlers carried out nearly 500 attacks on Palestinians, killing at least 8.
And how is that not like terrorism for that to happen? You know, those 500 attacks against Palestinians, 8 people, probably more actually, killed by settlers. That is terrorism. And if you criticize the Israeli government over it, Zionists will tell you or try to convince you that it's just the Israeli government defending itself. How is settlers killing innocent Palestinians in the West Bank, the Israeli government defending itself?
With the Israeli government being accused of inaction, the Prime Minister says Canada is considering sanctions.
We are looking into how to make sure that those responsible for extremist violence or extremist settler violence in the West Bank are held to account for it. We are looking at sanctions on extremist settlers.
U.S.
Okay, well, the settlers are driven by the Israeli government, so you're going to have to punish the Israeli government for the settler terrorism. Just sanctioning a few of the citizens won't change anything.
President Joe Biden issued an executive order yesterday barring 4 Israeli settlers access to America's financial system and froze their bank accounts over allegations of violence. This West Bank settlement mayor says it's up to Israel to prosecute its own citizens.
It is surprising that the president decided to finger point at the small extreme group of Jews who are acting violently, who are treated by the Israeli law enforcement, and ignoring Palestinian violence, who's been killing thousands of Jews.
Palestinians hope the West Bank will become
Like, it's wild how he's acting like Biden is ignoring the Palestinians when he is in like full support of the Israeli government committing a genocide against Palestinians, where 25,000 innocent civilians have been killed so far.
a future state, but some 500,000 Jewish settlers now live there in violation of international law. Far-right Israeli National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir has encouraged settlers to carry guns and wants to expand these Jewish communities into Gaza. Canada has...
But if a Palestinian were to carry guns, they would be considered terrorists and killed by the IDF or the Israeli government. So why is it okay for the Israeli settlers to carry guns and why aren't they also considered terrorists for